Nobody is born poor or born a millionaire. The only real difference between them is their mindset. Most people think wealth comes down to how hard you work or how much luck you get. But hard work and luck don't always add up to wealth if you don't have a millionaire mindset. Take Antoine Walker as an example. He made over $100 million playing in the NBA, but 2 years after he retired, he went broke and filed for bankruptcy. Now compare that to someone who had almost nothing to work with. There's a story in the book Psychology of Money about a janitor named Ronald Reed who had nothing when he started. He spent his life pumping gas and sweeping floors, but he quietly invested every spare dollar for 55 years. Nobody around him knew, and by the time he died at 92, he'd built an $8 million fortune. One had over $100 million and lost it all. The other had almost nothing and built a fortune. So, what really separated them? It wasn't the money. It wasn't the opportunity. It was how each of them thought about money. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 shifts that change how you think about money, the ones that separate the poor from the millionaires. Shift number 1, change your limiting beliefs about money. Most of what you believe about money is running quietly in the background, and you've never actually stopped to check if it's true. Some of those beliefs might actually be limiting the wealth that could come to you. That's what a limiting belief actually is. It's an assumption about money you accepted as fact, usually planted early, from your parents, your environment, or something you heard so many times you just believed it as truth. Beliefs like, it's hard to make money, rich people are evil, or I don't deserve wealth might be limiting your capacity to build it. Every limiting belief acts like a wall between you and the wealth you actually want. Most of the time, you don't even know the wall is there. But once you replace them with empowering beliefs, that wall starts coming down, and you start attracting money in ways you never even expected. Let's go through the most common ones. Maybe you believe rich people are bad, or you feel a flash of jealousy every time you see someone living a luxurious life. That belief usually isn't about morality, it's a defense mechanism. If you grew up around financial struggle, telling yourself rich people are bad protects you. It explains why you don't have money without making it your fault. And the jealousy works the same way. You see someone living that life, you want it too, but you can't seem to reach it. And that gap between wanting it and not having it turns into resentment. That resentment needs a story to make it feel okay, so you decide they're bad, or that money corrupts people, anything that makes not having a luxurious life easier to accept. When you believe rich equals bad, your subconscious will block wealth just to avoid becoming the thing you've decided is bad. But money is neutral. It just amplifies whoever is holding it. A greedy person with money is still greedy. A generous person with money just has more capacity to be generous. Money didn't make them that way. Once you actually believe that, you stop resenting the wealth around you. Instead, respect people who have it. Love them for it. Feel happy every time you see someone living that life, because that's not someone taking something away from you. It's a preview of the life you're about to live. Then there's the belief that money isn't important. Maybe you tell yourself that caring about it makes you a bad person. That story is usually adopted by people who don't have much money as a way to not feel bad about not having it. And it's also adopted by people who don't know how to earn money, telling themselves it isn't important so they can still feel good about themselves. But your actions follow what you actually believe matters. If you genuinely think money is unimportant, you'll never build the skills or habits that bring more of it into your life. Money isn't everything, but it's the resource that buys you the freedom and time to protect the things that actually do matter. Your family, your health, your purpose. It's a tool for those things, not a replacement for them. Once you respect it instead of dismissing it, you start paying attention to opportunities you used to ignore. Another common one is believing that money is hard to make. This usually comes straight from watching your parents trade long hours for small paychecks, or hearing money doesn't grow on trees so many times it just felt true. It creates a ceiling because you start assuming the only way to make money is through hours of hard labor. So anything that looks easier, like investing or building an asset, feels suspicious, almost fake. Remember Ronald Reed, the janitor from earlier? His money didn't come from working harder. It came from letting time and patience do the work for 55 years straight. Money is hard when you're only trading hours for dollars. It gets easier the moment you build something that keeps working without you standing over it. And maybe the deepest one, believing you don't deserve wealth, that it's only for certain lucky people. Maybe you grew up hearing your parents say things like that, or everyone around you believed only certain people get to be rich and you weren't one of them. But that's just not true. Anyone can become wealthy. The moment you believe you don't deserve it, you've already set yourself up to stay poor, because you'll turn down opportunities, give money away too fast, or hold yourself back right when things start working, all without even realizing why. Wealth was never reserved for a lucky few. It's built through decisions, repeated long enough to compound. The moment you start believing everyone can be rich, including you stop holding yourself back, and you finally start receiving what was already there for you. Once you change these limiting beliefs, you stop being someone who fights money, and you start being someone money flows towards. But changing what you believe is only the surface. Underneath every belief is something even bigger, deciding who you become. Shift number 2, shift your identity. Your beliefs about money actually come from something deeper, your identity, who you truly believe you are. If part of you still sees yourself as someone who struggles with money, someone who is broke, or someone who just isn't the type to get rich, that identity will keep pulling you back to the same place, no matter what you try to believe. Remember Antoine Walker from earlier? He made over $100 million, but the money changed before his identity ever did. He was still making decisions like the guy who grew up with nothing, and that identity dragged him right back to broke 2 years after he retired. Your identity works like a thermostat. It sets a temperature for your life, and no matter what happens, everything eventually adjusts back to that setting. Until you set a different temperature, nothing really changes, no matter how much money comes in. Here's the shift. Most people think becoming a millionaire means wanting it badly enough, but wanting keeps you in the identity of someone who doesn't have it yet. The real shift is deciding right now that you already think like a millionaire. Not the money, but the identity. You need to act like a millionaire. Talk like they talk, confident and clear about money, never apologizing for wanting more. Follow the habits they follow, investing, learning, and showing up consistently, even on the days nobody's watching. Think like they think, looking for opportunities instead of obstacles. Make decisions like they'd make, calculated, unafraid, always playing for growth. If you believe you're broke, you'll keep acting like it, playing it safe, avoiding risk, undercharging, staying small. But the moment you actually adopt the identity of a millionaire, you start making decisions the way a millionaire would. You negotiate differently. You invest instead of just saving. You say yes to opportunities instead of hesitating. And this is the part that actually changes your life. Your results don't come first, your decisions do. Once your decisions change, your bank account eventually catches up to match the identity you've already been acting from. Do that every single day for the next year, protecting your time like it's actually valuable, spending on things that build your future instead of things that just feel good right now, speaking about money with confidence instead of shame. Who are you after 12 months of that? You're not hoping to become a millionaire anymore. You already are one on the inside, and the outside is just catching up. Once you've shifted who you are, the next thing that has to shift is how you see the world around you. Shift number 3, scarcity to abundance. A scarcity mindset is believing there's not enough money out there or that you can't ever have enough for yourself. An abundance mindset is believing the opposite. There's enough money in the world and you can have as much as you actually want. When you believe money is limited, every decision comes from fear. You negotiate less, you hesitate to invest in yourself, and you feel threatened when someone else does well because their win feels like your loss. You end up playing so safe that you never actually build anything. But money isn't actually limited. New value gets created every single day. Businesses get built. Ideas turn into income, and none of that takes anything away from you. Once you believe there's enough for everyone, you stop competing out of fear, and you start making decisions from confidence instead. Take Donald Trump, for example. In the early 1990s, he was personally on the hook for around $900 million in debt, more than almost anyone in the country at the time. But he didn't operate from scarcity. He didn't start believing he was broke just because the numbers said so. He kept negotiating, kept thinking, and kept acting like someone who had money because in his mind, the debt was temporary, but his sense of abundance was permanent. That's the real difference. Scarcity is believing you don't have money. Abundance is believing you have enough, even when your bank account says otherwise. Within a few years, he rebuilt it all. The fastest way to actually train this mindset is gratitude. When you focus on and appreciate what you already have, you teach your attention to notice abundance instead of lack. So, be grateful for whatever money you've got right now, even if it's just $10 in your pocket. Be grateful every time your salary hits your account instead of instantly complaining that it's not enough. Attention works like a filter. Whatever you focus on, you find more of. The more grateful you become for the money you have, the more money the universe sends your way. The opposite is just as true. Complain about not having money, and the universe keeps giving you more to complain about. Don't complain about what you don't have. Don't put your focus on your debts, even if you're dealing with some right now. Just focus on what you already have and be grateful for it. Never complain about having less money, because complaining is just focus in disguise, and whatever you focus on, you find more of. But believing there's enough doesn't mean anything if you keep settling for less than you deserve. That's where your standards come in. Shift number 4, raise your standards. Whatever you tolerate is exactly what you'll keep getting. If you accept less than you deserve in your work, your environment, your relationships, that's exactly where you'll stay stuck. Raising your standard means deciding right now what you'll actually accept and refusing everything below that line. Let's break down exactly where to start raising it. Start with your environment, where you eat, where you spend your time, even how you dress. Choose places that actually match the life you're building, even if that means going out less often. Dress like the person you're becoming, not like someone who's just getting by. Every environment you choose is either pulling you toward that life or keeping you exactly where you are. Then there's who you spend your time with. Stop hanging out with people who have no interest in becoming better, the ones who laugh at your ambition, or who need you to stay exactly where you are because it's comfortable for them. Their comfort isn't your problem to protect. People around you will notice when this changes. Some will say you've changed, that you don't hang out the way you used to. That's true, and it's okay. It's not your job to lower yourself back down to match them. It's their job to catch up if they want to. Raise your standard in your work too. Stop taking jobs, deals, or clients that pay you less than you're actually worth just because it's familiar or easy. The moment you stop accepting underpaying work, you make room for work that actually matches your value, and raise your standard for what you let into your head. The news, the social media, the constant noise, most of it is designed to keep you anxious and distracted, not focused and building. Be as selective about what you let into your mind as you are about what you let into your bank account. Once your standard is actually high, all of it works like a filter. Low-quality people, environments, opportunities, and noise stop making it into your life. You're not chasing more, you're just refusing to accept less. But raising your standard takes courage, because doing it will bring up fear. Fear of losing people, fear of losing security, fear of the unknown. And how you handle that fear is the last shift. Shift number 5, turn your fear into faith. You can fix your beliefs, change your identity, think abundance instead of scarcity, and raise your standards, but none of that matters if fear stops you the moment you actually need to act. Fear looks like needing to be completely sure before you act, thinking too much about every decision, or waiting for the right time that never really comes. While you're waiting to feel completely sure, the opportunity moves on to someone who acted without that certainty. Fear keeps you safe, but safe rarely builds anything. The shift is turning that fear into faith. And faith here is two things. Faith that the universe is going to work in your favor, and faith in yourself that you're capable of handling whatever actually happens. Here's the part most people get wrong. Courage isn't the absence of fear. There's no courage without fear. Courage is feeling the fear and acting anyway, because you trust yourself and you trust that things are going to work out. You don't need the fear to disappear before you move. You just need to move despite fear. So the next time fear shows up right before a big decision, negotiating for more, investing in yourself, walking away from something that's beneath the standard you just raised, don't wait for the fear to leave first. It won't, not fully. Take the action anyway and trust that you can do it, and the universe will work in your favor. Every single shift we've talked about today only works if you're willing to act on it, despite the fear. That's the real difference between someone who stays stuck and someone who actually becomes a millionaire. Not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move through it. So that's it. 5 shifts. Change your limiting beliefs. Shift your identity. Move from scarcity to abundance. Raise your standards. And turn your fear into faith. If any of these hit different, let me know in the comments which shift you're starting with today. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Because at the end of the day, nobody is born poor or born a millionaire. Both are just a mindset. So which mindset are you going to choose? The one that keeps you broke or the one that builds millions?